What is going on, guys? This is Charles from Team COG coming at you guys here with a updated Crusadia deck profile. Now, I recently built this on stream just to kind of test and see how things would go, and it actually performed phenomenally. Have yet to take it to a local experience, so hopefully we'll get some actual play with it coming soon. But for the most part, guys, that's what this video is going to be. So please remember, if you guys want to help support the channel, please hit that blue join button down below or check out the links down in the description. Also, I think I did something today. What was it? Oh, that's right. I just dropped my Stigmatica Conflict playmat. Link is down in the description down below. Head on down there. Go ahead and grab it. And help support the channel that way. Use code COG5 to get 5% off. And other than that, guys, let's just go ahead and jump into the profile. All right, guys, so here we are. We're going to jump into the deck profile. So for those who don't know, this is a Crusadia list with a Dragon Link engine. It's not like boneless Crusadia that I know a lot of people were kind of talking about before. But for the most part, for those who don't know, this list is very much kind of like, how do I describe it? Previous list I did way back, we are not using LP in this list. We're preemptively preparing for LP to go, so we're playing Piste. But for most part, the list is very consistent. It was actually a guy named Brandon, top 8 at the Extravaganza. He was the final push that put me into diving in and actually testing this list. And if you guys remember, if you guys want to check the live streams, I live stream once a week. Always try to do it once a week, and then every live stream is uploaded later so that people who cannot make it can always go back and watch it. I might start to take the highlights of that and then put into video messages because I'm not finding enough time to do test hand videos, which is something I always enjoyed to do. But now with live streaming and doing that type of stuff live, I might just do it and commentate over it later just to kind of get double down on my video quantity. So comment down below what you guys would think of that. But without further ado, we're just going to go ahead and jump into the profile. The profile is exactly 42 cards, no hand traps, and there are a few minor things that I'd like to change in the list, but nothing too great. Like I said, the list performs phenomenally. Like I said, if you guys want to go see test hands, since I haven't got any up, go check out the live stream, which is the last live stream, which is available on the channel. And yeah, so let's go ahead and jump into the list. So we are rocking still. We are playing 3 of every Crusadia. There is absolutely no need to never not play this, if this makes sense. You got to play all of them because they are your starter cards. And then, I mean, like, they're starters and extenders. You do not play if you don't see a Crusadia. However, since we are playing a small Dragon Link engine, if you open a bunch of Dragon extenders, you can still play. You can just kind of pivot into Dragon Link combos, which is kind of mostly just spitting out a Savage. And even then you can put Echomax Savage, which is nothing too bad. But you must play all the Crusadias. I would not recommend playing Skipper because Gamma is a blowout card in this format. It is a very high impact hand trap that does exist. So you risk getting kind of gammed and then your turn is over. And you don't want to just link off the Formant Skipper into Link Kribo or Link Kribo or anything like that and then get the search, simply because then it's one extra step to climb, and you might need to get that Magia search to get the Dragon card, the Draco, so that you can combo into the Guard Dragon combo for this profile. Now at the very end of this video, I will showcase the simplified 2-card combo that gets you to a Echomax and a Savage Negate every hand. So yeah, that is it for the Crusadias. I'm moving on. The one honoring Crusadia World Legacy Crown. I almost called it Crusadia Crown. World Legacy Crown, this card is phenomenal. I almost wish I had space to play 2 of it. It's really good. I wish it did more for the strategy outside of just summoning itself. I wish it did something kind of like World Chalice did for Crusadia, but it is what it is. Now moving on, for the superior extenders, we are rocking triple Paralytic Seed. You could arguably cut this down to 2, but you really want to see it, and as soon as you see this, you practically play protected from hand traps, if that makes sense. Or if you see it and your hand just is already good, it just makes your hand cracked, so you're just able to almost play through anything. Even if they have a hand trap, Exceed just gives you that extra body that lets you play through it, which is really good. And I guess also to bring up, if you draw this later in your combo, which you can draw it off of Noctovision, you can draw it off of Desires, it just allows you to finish your combo with a Dweller, which is really important. Or allows you to finish your combo with Rafflesia, which can burn, that some people need to remember that if you are going into turn 3 and you have successfully done enough damage, you can use Paralytic Seed to make Rafflesia, then you kind of have your own cowboy kind of sitting there that can burn some more. But moving on, double Noctovision. So this card, I kind of was skeptical of this card, but this card is truly phenomenal. As soon as you go through your combo, you can summon this. And one of the biggest things I've seen as of lately is people gamma the Spatha. So this right here allows you to go like Spatha 1, Noctovision 2, and then you're just able to successfully move it over. But you're kind of in a difficult position if they do have gamma in that scenario, but it allows you to protect the Spatha in that one scenario. You do still keep the Link 2 up there. For one-ofs, we are rocking the one black dragon, almost said dragon, weird. One black dragon, one white dragon. These two are just superior extenders. We aren't playing Chaos Space because of space, go figure. But this right here just allows you to, these cards are just crazy. I mean, there's not much, like, you open or see one of them, and now that since we're just doing like Dragon Link stuff, Wyvern Buster is practically a lot more live, which is really good, especially since we can make Striker a little bit earlier if needed. So that's why Wyvern Buster and Black Dragon are in here. They're just crazy dragon cards. We've played these since Guard Dragons have come out, so they're just super powerful. They search one another. If we had space for Chaos Space, we might play it, but outside of that, Chaos Space can be very bricky, and it's like a card that you want to play 3 of because of how good it is, but by playing 3 of it, you're more likely to brick with it. But moving on for the rocket, like the Dragon Link package, I guess. Tracer, Rocket, Abs Router. I would probably increase this count. I think I have one in my deck box now. A Silver Rocket or a Rocket Recharger. Definitely play one more additional Rocket than what I'm playing. I just haven't got it yet. I don't think. I might be here in the... Let's see here. Check my deck box real quick, guys. It does not look like I have got it. Yep, I do not have it currently, so that is okay. But definitely play one more Rocket. Had a Druid Blink there. Play one more Rocket in your list just because you need to have the ability to fire off Tracer sometimes, you know, especially if you open, like, see this, the Tracer's dead, you want to have to get that extra body, which allows you to make a bigger inboard, which is really important. So definitely do that. But outside of that, that is it for the monsters. As you guys can see, we are playing a huge monster count, but I mean, Crusadia always has. That's one of the pluses and downsides of the deck, is like we have to play so much extender, so much gas just to keep the deck rolling. So yeah, but moving on, triple quick launch. This card is, again, such a hand trap baiter. I mean, to be honest with you, this card just, you fire this off, and if you can fire this off at the beginning, and then if a bad player ashes you, you've got an ash. Worst case scenario, it is a superior extender to get you to your Guard Dragon combos if they can interact with the Magius. It's overall just really good. And then, like, you could draw it off with, like, Desires here. You can just, like, continue to combo off, because the likelihood of you banishing 3 of your Rockets is very low. The likelihood of you banishing 4 if you add in an additional Rocket is definitely even lower. And if you were to add in the additional Rocket, I would say play or cut down Nocto to 1, or you could even go as far as, like, cutting Crown, which pains me to say, but it is, I mean, at that point you can, because Nocto is a fire card. I would not recommend cutting Nocto any lower than 2, just because of that draw is super important. Moving on, we are rocking double Desires. Desires is extremely good. So you can't play Pot of Prosperity, I think that is, because you use your extra deck. You can't use Extravagance because you use your extra deck. Pot of Avarice is too slow, only because it doesn't become, like, sometimes, like, especially with this deck I've started to learn, unless you're playing like a hyper draw variant, you don't want to play Pot of Avarice, because if you're interacted early on and you have nothing and you have Pot of Avarice and you can't get 5 monsters to the graveyard, that card is technically a brick. Whereas if you have Desires, you can fire off Desires right away and get 2 cards, which is extremely important when trying to push through interaction and push through disruption. So highly recommend playing Pot of Desires at 2. I wouldn't go 3. I've never really played Desires at 3 because I do not want to draw into 2 Desires, but for sure, definitely play it at 2. It is like the best draw card I think the deck has. But moving on, we are rocking double Crusadia Power. You could potentially cut this for the other Rocket too. This is one reason why I really like this strategy in a way, because we need our normal summon to stick, and that's what Crusadia Power allows us to do. Is once we normal summon, we have the ability to protect it, and this is searchable later in your combo if you hard open Crawler. So then, like, you have more ways to play through Dark World or more ways to make sure your Equimax sticks as well, which gives you that, like, turn 3 1-punch follow up, which is really cool and really important. But yep. I think I'm trying to learn German, so this is Crusadia Starkey, I think. German followers, German fans, let me know how I pronounce that. Each day, we'll get closer and closer. Moving on to kind of like the one of like Brickish cards, Boot Sector Launch, and Dragon's Ravine. These are all part of the combo. You search them out like right away. If you open one, you just kind of can skip it, but then again, you know, like it is what it is if you happen to open it. But these 2 cards are just combo extenders and combo pieces. This gets you to Tracer, and then this right here gets you to the ability to summon the Tracer, which gives you like a guaranteed Savage at the end of your combo. For the powerful one-ofs, Reborn, Guard Dragon, Succession, the Holy Trinity of Monster Reborn is back. I know on my going second list I played 2 Successions, but I really missed Guard Dragon. I wouldn't recommend playing any more, just simply because they're like similar to Succession. These two are hard ones per turn, so if you open them in multiples, the other card's just dead. We aren't really making Skull Dread in this list because we're not using LP, just out of fear of the ban list. So if LP sticks around, they will be an updated list to this, because if LP survives, might as well, you know. I just feel like with Dragon Link practically showing its head again, Konami's going to have to do something to the deck, and let's be honest, LP is the best hit that they could do, but people have also been saying LP is going to get hit for like 2 years now, and they haven't done it, so argument 50-50, you know what I'm saying? But Succession is just like these all 3, so if you open all 3 of them, you have combo. Instead of like opening 2 Succession, you have 1 brick card, 2 Guard Dragon, you have 1 brick card. If you open 2 of these, you have like all 3, and it just works well. This has been the ratio I've played since I've played the Guard Dragon variant, and it has worked really good. Moving on. One Call by the Grave. We just play this. I mean, do I even need to explain why we play Call by the Grave? We really need our combos to resolve, and since Call by is at 1, you know, they might get lucky and draw their one of, so we might get lucky and draw ours. So we can hope, right? For the final 2 traps, 1 Crawler and 1 Trap Hole. These 2 are definitely the hard bricks of the deck. I wouldn't even say like the Rocket Dragons are even bricks in the deck, because like they can be summoned off Boot Sector, so like they're just extenders in the hand. So I wouldn't even say that they are bricks, but these are like for sure, like 2 for sure bricks in the deck. Crawler, like you guys know the curse. Crawler's always going to be in the opening hand, and Gravedigger's Trap Hole is there for Rafflesia. But most of the time, like you have like a very small percentage. Like it's statistically, you should not see these unless you're me. You'll see this guy every hand. But if you're an average Joe or an average Kyle or an average Trevor, you're never going to see these things. So yeah, the 2 traps are I'd say they're mandatory, especially Crawler. People who don't understand is like Crawler just allows you to play around Dark Ruler no more, which is this deck is one of the few decks that actually can, by just practically searching Crawler and having a Crusadia point to, or Equimax point to a Crusadia. With Crawler, you can play through Dark Ruler no more and negate it, which is interesting. And it's very powerful, especially in like games 2 and 3, when you know like sideboards are coming in. So like that's just super powerful. And that's why I believe this deck is really slept on. Not only does it have the ability to set up pretty impressive turn 1 boards and be able to protect those turn 1 boards from blowout cards, it has the ability to have like a turn 3 1-punch come through. So moving on to the extra deck, guys. The extra deck is 15, of course. Maybe I'm probably miscounted, to be honest with you, but it should be 15. We're still back to rocking the old Crusadia lineup right here. No Avermax, because I don't think Avermax is needed. You do not, like, Avermax is not as impressive as he once was. He can just easily be outed today, very easy. And I know the argument is, well, you can play Crusadia Power with him. Well, you can, yes, but you can also play Crusadia Power with Equimax and have a negate. The only thing that Avermax does is Avermax provides like non-targetable, and he just can almost win every battle. Equimax can almost win every battle, and he's also walking negate, which is proactive versus, which is reactive, whereas I think Avermax is proactive. But yeah, this is the Crusadia lineup. You go through all, you practically play through, you play all of them except for the second Magius, but sometimes the second Magius does come up, so you have to play a minimum of these guys here. Moving on, the Piste, kind of like the Guard Dragon side of things. We are rocking 1 Piste, 1 Striker, 1 Romulus. These guys right here we're not playing LP like I said, because if LP gets hit, this deck needs to already be ready, and I want to be ahead of the game. But if LP survives, we'll definitely relook at the list and probably change things around so that we can incorporate LP. But for right now, this is it right here. You just go Piste, Piste Reborn Draco, get Striker, and Piste make Rom gets you Ravine, Striker got you Boot Sector, so there you go. That's practically part of the combo line, which I will show you guys at the end of the video here. 1 Apollosa, and then 1 Ling Kribo, and 1 Link Spider for the finishing off the links here. You want to have Ling Kribo because sometimes like you'll just combo off with just Crusadia plus Paralytic Seed, and then that's kind of rough. You just have the ability to turn like one of the Paralytic Seeds into a Ling Kribo, and then you can just kind of like combo with the other Crusadia and like the other Exceed and still be protected from Imperm, which, I mean, it's another way we can. If you happen to open like really crazy cards, you can like make Rafflesia and Ling Kribo, and then you can play underneath those. You gotta be very careful though. You gotta make sure you put like Rafflesia on the far end so you leave a zone open. Otherwise, you'll lock yourself out, and you don't want to do that. And it's very like slim hands that allow that, but it is possible. Link Spider, is just in here for when we get rocked. We can, if they rock us at the inappropriate time, we can make Link Spider and then combo off that way, which is, I mean, it is what it is. It allows us to kind of play through in a way. It gives us that arrow pointing down. And then Appaloosa, when you get to your combo where you make Regulex, you can actually make Appaloosa instead. The only bad thing with Appaloosa is it's 1600, whereas like if you combo up, you can make Equimax be like 5000. So it's just player preference. And this is why these guys are like really the flex spot. I would only argue and say the main card you need is Link Spider, simply because everyone plays the rock. You got to have the ability to play through the rock if you cannot get to Rafflesia, and that's what the Link Spider kind of does. But there are some combo strings. If you guys haven't, like I said, check out the live stream and check the test hands out. There's a part of that where I'm able to make a Formatail Appaloosa, which is really good. So Appaloosa does come up, but I'd say like for sure these are your flex spots. You don't need these guys, but you definitely they are good to have. All right, for Synchros, we're rocking Savage Dragon and FA Don Dragster. FA Don Dragster does not come up as often as I thought. I'd actually probably trade this out for, I think it's called Evil Swarm Nightmare. That would be a good card because you just have more ability to make rank 4s and Synchro 8s than you do to make like the Dragster. And half the time you're choosing, like, why would you choose Dragster if you could make like an Appaloosa over here? It's definitely just in here out of like nostalgia from like the old Crusadia list, but I've definitely found myself never making this card. So it's definitely another flex spot that you can easily trade out and easily kind of like put whatever you want in for it. Savage is part of the combo. You got to play Savage. I mean, let's be real. The 2-card combo ends you on Savage and Equimax. And then like that's just 2 cards. The other 3 cards in your hand can be anything, and that will allow you to put up like Dweller or like some other form of interruption. It could put you up Savage or Dragster too. You could be like Equimax, Savage, Dragster. Or it could be Equimax, Savage, and then the Evil Swarm card, or Equimax, Savage, and Dweller, which is really good, which I just said. But moving on to the final 2 cards, we are rocking Rafflesia and Dweller. This is part of the ability to protect yourself from hand traps. This is part of where you finish your combo once you know you're going against like pesky back row decks like Dino or Eldritch. You just can end on this with sometimes just Rocket Tracer. And this is where like sometimes like the case will pop up where you'll have like Maximus in your hand, and you'll have Magna Rocket already in hand. So you'll summon Tracer, Magna Rocket, and then you'll summon Maximus. You can overlay the Rocket and the Maximus for Dweller, and then if you played another Rocket monster, which I highly recommend you do, you could fire off Tracer and get to Savage a lot easier. And that comes up quite a bit. So like I said early in the video, highly recommend playing a 4th Rocket. But guys, that is it for the profile. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and jump you guys into the 2-card combo. All right, guys, here we go. This is the 2-card combo. It's practically any 2 Crusadias or Crusadia plus Extender. It's going to get you to Savage and Equimax, which is going to be, for 2 cards. That means each card practically gives you an interruption, which is really good. And that's kind of how Crusadia has always played. It's kind of played in a way. 2 cards always get you to like 2 forms of interruption, but then it's when you get to like 3 cards, don't get you to 3 and 4. It takes almost your entire hand to get that 3rd interruption, which is one of the downsides of the deck. But still, this is the most basic Crusadia Dragon Link combo that I can showcase you. And just please take note, this is not boneless Crusadia or boneless Dragon Link. This is Crusadia bone in. You know what I'm saying? So like we are ending on Equimax. We are not just doing weaker Dragon Link plays. We are doing kind of like our own sort of combo, which is really important. But without further ado, you just normal summon Arborea or normal summon your Crusadia. You link it off into Magius. You then special summon out your other Crusadia or your Extender. Trigger the Magius. Grab you Draco. You then go here for Spatha. Once you make Spatha, you special summon the Draco, recurring back your normal summon. You then link here into Piste, using Spatha's effect to move Piste over. You then use Piste's effect to summon back from the graveyard the Draco. Once you are here, you link into Striker. Striker's effect will grab you Boot Sector Launch. You then turn these 2 here into Romulus. Romulus will grab you Dragon's Ravine. You then, trying to think here, you go here for Regulex. You then go here for Dragon's Ravine. Use Dragon's Ravine effect. You will pitch the random card in your hand, which we will just go right here. Pitch a random card. You then send Absorrouter. Absorrouter grabs you Tracer. You then special summon Arborea. Regulex will then grab you the Crawler. You then go ahead and tag in the Boot Sector. You go ahead and go up here for Equimax. You then use Boot Sector's effect, summoning down the Tracer. Tracer's effect will then destroy Boot Sector, summon out Magna Rocket. You then turn Magna Rocket and Tracer into Savage. Savage will then equip the Romulus because it has the highest attack. And that'll give us 2 negates. And then we have Crawler, which we set. And during the standby phase, fire off Crawler. Crawler then gets you the World Legacy Guard Dragon. So there you guys go. That is kind of the basic combo. I kind of forgot about the discard halfway through, not going to lie. So it is kind of like a 2.5 card combo. But in theory, you almost can, you know, like you're always going to have that card to discard because it is your hand. But there's definitely cards like Pot of Desires that kind of subjugate that cost in a way. And so other cards like Nocto Vision, which would allow you to get an additional card as well. But anyway, guys, so that is it for the combo. That is it for the video. Please comment down below what you guys think of Crusadia Dragon Link, which is a bone-in Crusadia engine. So as you guys can see, we're not just ending on spears. We're not just ending on like the Dragon Link stuff. We're ending on a Crusadia monster with a live negate, and then we're also ending on Savage. Again, if you guys technically have 3 other cards you can play with, so like you could also kind of push out like a Dweller here or whatever you really want to do. But anyway, that is it, the video, guys. Please remember to stay happy, stay healthy, and happy crusading. This is Charles signing out.